Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Grave Matters. I'm CreepyClownGirl, and alongside of me is Filia Noctis. Hi, sis.
Hi, sis. How are you
Hello.
today?
I'm good, thank you, and how are you?
I'm doing okay.
Good.
I'm a little concerned about, I know you said you were having some physical issues. You worry me. Just so you know, you worry me. I worry about you.
I worry about you, too. At least it's my bad eye, so...
Yeah. I guess if there is a positive spin to put on that, that would be the positive spin. So, just to let the folks know, I seem to be experiencing some internet interruptions. And so if I disappear, not because I don't love you guys, it's because technology is working against me. So we will try and have a fabulous interview today with Dr. Grimm and the lovely Ms Creepyth. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you for joining us.
Ladies and gentlemen, lady and gentlemen.
Good evening. How is everyone tonight?
We're wonderful. How are you?
I'm holding up as best I can. What with things going on, financially at least.
Oh dear. Well, I'm glad you're able to be here with us.
Same.
Thank you for the invite.
You're welcome.
You're very welcome.
Glad to
Dr.
have
Grimm,
you both here.
How are you today?
Good, quite good. And hello to everyone that has tuned in and will tune in later on. I'm doing quite well for my own standards. And how are you guys doing?
We are good.
Good.
It's early in the morning for you over there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's now 5:43 a.m.
Oh, jeez. Thank you for loving us enough to get up that early. Because,
right?
There's very few people I would get up that early for. One thing if I stay up all night.
Which you have done.
It's an honor. It's an honor and it's a very joyful thing to attend to with you guys.
Thank you.
Joyful. I like that. Joyful.
I do too.
I'm glad we bring you joy. It is nice to know I bring somebody joy.
Right? Same here. So, why don't we see who's in the chat? I see the sleeping Wendigo. Hi, Wendigo.
Hi, Wendy. I see Lone Wolf.
Hi, Wolf.
Lone Wolf.
Hello, Wolf.
And Dexter's here, my buddy.
Hey, Dex. I see Midnight Researcher. Hi, Seth.
Hello.
I see someone that I have. Hi, Seth, by the way. I see someone that I haven't talked to in ages. Vendetta Dylan.
Dylan, thanks for joining.
I haven't seen Dylan in ages and ages. Oh, look, our buddy Derringer, our forever here Derringer. Derringer is not a girl. Just in case anybody ever brings that question up again.
Hi, Derringer. And our purple bear is here. Hi, Furberries.
Hey, Furberries.
Oh, shit. Sorry. If I just accidentally deleted someone's message, I didn't mean to. I'm sorry. I'm just scrolling and my phone is, and the thing is scrolling and it's, holy crap, what am I doing? I gotta stop. I think I just put Lone Wolf in timeout or something. Or deleted all of Lone Wolf's messages. Lone Wolf, if you can hear me, honey, I'm sorry. Whatever I did, I'm sorry. I'm trying to scroll. My phone's not working right. You guys.
Yeah.
I'm technologically
Good evening, Vendetta Dylan.
Lone Wolf, please don't be upset with me.
I don't think so.
Yeah, he's in timeout jail.
Shit. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. Hair raising narrative is here.
Hi, HRN.
Hi, HRN.
Hello.
And then we have
Breaker 19 is here. Hey,
Hey,
Lois.
Breaker.
The main man himself.
Yep. And,
And then-
speaking of the main man himself, the guy behind the yellow strip, our one and only,
As the
is
Raven
the Raven
dreams.
Dreams.
Hi, Raven.
Hey, Raven. Thanks for being here for us, buddy. And the ever lovely, always wonderful Patience.
Hey,
Hi,
Patience.
Patience.
We also have, the name starts with an M.
Midnight Researchers? I don't know. We've got PA
No.
Nightmares, too. An M.
Hi,
I'm looking. I
PA.
don't see it. I'm scrolling up. Are you guys...
They're right above Patience.
Unfortunately, I can't pronounce that name to save my life.
Oh,
Oh,
Mehraj?
okay. I know. Yeah, I know that name.
You
He's
say that name.
yeah. Mehtad. He's a Iranian guy, I think, because of the name. So from my own country, and
Oh,
one of my
cool.
subscribers.
Oh, awesome.
Hello and
Welcome.
awesome. Welcome and thank you for being here. Artsy. Hey. Artsy's here.
Hi,
I see you.
Aisha. Hello, sweetheart. So it's
Thank God
good
you have
to
recovered, Artsy.
Oh, was she ill?
Yes. She
While
had
I was
COVID.
gone? Oh, that sucks. I had that. That sucks. So, we've got some people here that we weren't here last week. For those of you that don't know, this is only my second week back. I have been missing since just before Thanksgiving. My father died on Thanksgiving, and then literally the day he died, my mom, my daughter, and I all started having the COVID symptoms, and we got sick fast. That stuff hit us fast and hard. And, you know, everybody's like, oh, yeah, well, I only had it for a week. No, 4 weeks. My family was down for 4 weeks with COVID. Well, my daughter was only down for a week, but my mom and I were down for 4 weeks with COVID. So it's hard. And anybody, I am so glad you're doing better, Aisha, because that is I don't know what variant I had or whatever, but that's a bitch.
I just found out my 15-and-a-half-year-old grandson has COVID.
Oh dear.
Poor
I
little
heard
guy.
somewhere that just about everybody is going to end up having it at one point or another, because
Exactly.
although it is, you know, we're making a big deal of, oh, it's COVID, it's a flu. It's a flu virus. Everybody at some point in their life gets the flu. Most people get it multiple times in their life. So we're all going to end up getting it sooner or later.
Oh, definitely.
So I just pray that all of our loved ones, friends and loved ones, end up with a, sorry, my cat keeps walking between me and I just hope that everybody ends up with a very light form of it.
Oh, God, yes.
So, okay. So enough of the, stuff that's going on. Oh, other than, okay, surprise everybody. I bought it. I didn't buy. I got a new puppy. See, that's a good thing in my life. I got a new puppy. For those of you that don't know, I'm disabled. I have mobility issues, and I have chronic pain issues. So I got a puppy, a husky German Shepherd mix. She's adorable. That I can train to be a mobility dog. And she's 8 weeks old, and her name is Maka. I know this sounds like a funny name, but it's Gaelic. So if anybody is sad or depressed or coming out of COVID, don't get a puppy. They pee
Right.
every hour and a half. And I'm exhausted because I keep getting up to go and take care of this silly puppy in the middle of the night, but it's like 28 degrees outside. But it's worth it. She has puppy breath. That makes it all better. Okay.
Hi, Laura.
So let's get into this interview. Ms Creepyth. That is an interesting name. How did you
Yes.
come upon it?
This was actually a long time plan with me and my youngest sister. When I was 13 years old, I had just gotten into the realm of that is creepypasta. It kind of segued after doing a school project. And I had found one of Mr. Creepypasta's older videos. And the minute I heard his voice and heard the story, I was pretty much hooked. I had stayed up extensively that night, getting completely distracted from the project that I was supposed to be working on. But I did end up sharing some of the stories with my youngest sister because she and I usually ended up sharing the same interests. Whether it be hiking in the woods, jigsaw puzzles, or, and nowadays is still the case, creepypastas. So we had kind of made a plan to start our own YouTube channels as we got older, and we bounced around with names for a little while. And for some reason, the name Ms Creepyth kind of stuck with me. I threw that name out there, and she had told me that that would be a fantastic name. So I kind of kept it, and we still, to this day, we never really figured out a proper name for a channel for her. But this name just kind of stuck, and I chose to use it as a sort of tribute to somebody who kind of built me up and supported me throughout this whole endeavor.
That is so amazing and
wonderful.
awesome.
That is wonderful. You know, Mr. Creepypasta is responsible for so many of us. I mean, I would say at least half of the people we interview attribute their being narrators to Creepypasta, or to Mr. Creepypasta.
CP.
Mm-hmm.
CP. Would you agree with that, Cece?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, he's the father of Creepypasta.
I've been a fan of his channel since that day. I am currently 20 years old. I will be 21 in less than a month.
Ooh.
Or in actually a little bit over a month. And I have been a fan ever since. I have seen all of his videos. Including...
Dedication.
Yes. And I have also attempted to buy as much merch as I possibly can. Thank you, by the way, Vendetta, Dylan, Artzilla, and thank you guys for the subscriptions. Dexter, in answer to your question about the jigsaw puzzles, I have been a fan of jigsaw puzzles since I was 10 years old. I actually, in my spare time, when I'm not finding stories from the shadows, I am framing them. I put them together, use a little Mod Podge to glue them together, and I frame them.
That is awesome. A great hobby.
Yes.
So, Dr. Grimm, I don't know why I almost
Yes.
called you Mr. Grimm. Tell us, how did
No,
you come about your name?
To be honest, the reasons I started are a different question that I would gladly answer, but for the name, I've been always fascinated by, I know it sounds wrong, but I have been fascinated by the plague doctors and how it affected history as a whole. And the name Grimm, I would say I think the inspiration is from two huge YouTubers that I really like and inspired me are Mr. Creeps, his dedication every day, great content, and the OG of this scene, Mr. Nightmare. So two very plain at first sight words, adjectives. And I went for then what's the next best thing? what would describe terror and what would bring terror in a very simple matter. And the word Grim just stuck with it.
Great name.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a very good name. Yeah, it to me, it conjures, and I know this is just because the name is the same, but you know, the Grimm fairy tales.
Yeah.
And the Brothers Grimm, the original fairy tales, not the ones that they used today. The original ones were very dark, and they were more of warnings for kids than, you know, little sweet tales. They were,
Yeah.
like, you know. So that's, but it is the same imagery, and I get where you're going with that. And I always thought the plague doctors were interesting idea, cool idea, very, very bad on the execution of being a doctor. Just didn't do
Well,
a real good job.
You do have to consider the lack of technology that they had at the time.
This is true. This is true. And they tried herbs. They just didn't necessarily have the right herbs. You know, but if they would have listened to the witches instead of burning us, they might have done a little bit better. But that's, you know, that's neither here nor there, and we're not going to dredge up history. So,
yeah, very true. Like, I think the aspect of them going and trying to save people, I would consider the most deadliest thing to ever happen to humankind, is brave, first of all, and second of all, it's kind of the most daring and scariest thing you could ever do, to go and face a disease like that with that kind of technology.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That is so true.
I mean,
Totally
can you imagine trying to, you know, face like Ebola with a paper mask and disposable latex, or not even latex, disposable, you know, vinyl gloves?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, that's literally what it was like, you know, because the plague came up. There was no like long incubation period. You were exposed, you got boils, you died in, you know, 48 hours. It's the same with Ebola. You know, you can die in 24, you can die in 12.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, there at that time, with these new kind of viruses that pop up, it takes a while for us to be able to develop the technology and the medicine required to deal with it. So, much to our dismay, a lot of people end up perishing in the process.
Well, the other thing on that, we're talking about the Middle Ages, and the Middle Ages is just after the Dark Ages. They call it the Dark Ages because it's a lack of knowledge, a lack of insight. Before the Dark Ages, the Middle Eastern people had the best healthcare, and not like a healthcare system, but their knowledge was amazing. They had really good medicine, but we lost all of that in the Dark Ages. And that, you know, the only thing that you could do was go to church and pray, because, you know, the church made sure that that was what you did. You go to church, you pray. God will save you. If you're a good person, God will save you. And the peasants didn't know any better. Yeah, right. The peasants didn't know any better because they weren't allowed to read, and they couldn't, you know. So the Middle Ages is just coming out of the Dark Ages. So all that information that had been there before that could have done good has been lost.
Right.
So if only, and there's no point in going on after that, because if only didn't happen, and, you know, here we are now and we've still got the plague in places like the state I live in. You know,
Lovely.
yeah, we're one of the states that actively continues to have plague. It's crazy. So, okay,
It is unfortunate, yes.
what are tell us a little bit about your channels and what you think your not what you think, but what you do. What's your preferred genre of tales?
I think Mrs. Creepyth should go first.
Well, right
Okay.
now my channel is still relatively new. But as far as I believe myself, the direction that I wish to go at the very least is mostly, if not completely, horror content. Whether it be creepypasta readings, tributes to formerly historical places, whether it be with true stories, or something that Midnight Researcher has been considering actually is heading down to the original site where Marble Hornets was created.
Ooh. Ooh.
So maybe at some
Interesting.
point I could head down there and do a tribute to the Marble Hornets as well. But the plan for this particular channel is exclusively creepypasta content.
Cool. Do you have a specific genre like possession, or creep?
At the moment, no,
Cryptid.
but I've kind of bounced around between entities. I've got a couple of true stories lined up. A ritual that has gone up. I haven't been able to find too many ritual pastas that have been good. But one thing I have been considering for a little while now is SCP files or Holder series.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I'm not sure which ones to do though. Grim did give me a couple of good ideas for it. At least for a good starting point.
Yeah, there are a couple that you could use for starting. They're popular, they are well known, and they will get the views and the attention on your channel.
Yes.
Yeah, I've thought about doing that too.
I have had
Right.
a very pleasant experience with one author in particular. He was actually the first author that I got into contact with, and the first story series that I've been working on. Brian A. Young. I found him, I believe I found him on creepypasta.org, actually. He is the author of the I Investigate Strange Cases series. The first two stories are on my channel right now. They're the first two videos that I've ever posted. But I got into contact with him before I actually recorded his audios for his preferences, and he came to me after the first story had been recorded, and in an email said basically what it amounted to was, your narration was fantastic, and I give you complete and full permission to use any of my works.
Oh wow.
Oh, wow.
I love it when
Congratulations.
that happens.
And
When the
to this
authors
day, he
love
has
it.
not expressed any difficulties with me, and I actually got into contact with him again because the aforementioned sister, my youngest sister, got into contact with me and said she wanted to do speed paints. She is an artist, and she wanted to use my recorded audios as backgrounds.
That's
And
cool.
I wanted to get his permission before I let that out, and he gave permission for that as well.
Wow.
Congratulations to both of you.
Yeah.
So
that
far, the
is-
man has been absolutely supportive and 100% fantastic, and his work continues to impress me.
That is
Glad you have
completely
found-
amazing. Congratulations.
Yeah, very much. Congratulations.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I love
finding a
it
person
when-
like that.
Yes, I was just gonna say that, Dr. Grim. We're cruising on the same wavelength here.
Yeah.
So what about you,
Okay.
Dr. Grimm? And then after that, our question. So what about you, Dr. Grimm?
I would say my preference for now swings towards first true crime stories, things that happen. I think when something has happened already and we have documentation, it's scarier because the possibility grows higher with that experience. And also from the let's say not fictional, but non-real. For now, I would say are SCP files, obviously. Creepypasta for me has become a little bit redundant because we have too much of it. So the standard has dropped a little bit in my opinion. But the one that I really love from creepypasta are those who are working for an agency to deal with cryptids. There's a series that Mr. Creeps is doing, and there are different titles such as I have been working with this organization for 45 years, and this is the worst case that I have ever faced. There's like a cryptid hunters, but for secret government institutes. And yeah, but I would say these. And before I would say end these, I would say that I think Artsy asked what inspired us to actually do the channel, do narrations, not just why we have the name. And if Ms Creepyth wants, she goes first and answer why she wanted to specifically do narrations, as Artsy has asked.
The reason I wanted to start doing narrations was because when I was growing up, I grew up with 3 siblings, and our mother worked a lot. She was a single mother raising 4 children, and that had to be understandably difficult. But one thing that we used to do in our spare time, and this definitely helped with reading projects, as I was in middle school when this first came about, I would read the book that I was assigned to. I would read it aloud to my siblings. 9 times out of 10, they didn't really listen or pay attention. But again, with my relationship with my youngest sister, she usually seemed to be the most interested, and we would have discussions about the book and that type of thing, and she would bring new things to my attention. Apart from that, she would always tell me that I had a really good reading voice. And I was always told that growing up in school as well. My friends would tell me that I had a really good reading voice, and I had one best friend in 8th grade up to my sophomore year. She and I used to sit around at the lunch table. We would usually be by ourselves because nobody wanted to sit next to the 2 weird girls who read creepypasta stories to each other. But we would
Right.
scour the internet for the best ones that we could find to tell to each other. And we would sit at the lunch tables and we would read creepypasta stories to each other during lunch.
Oh,
And we'd always told each other, it'd be really cool to do narration channels. And yeah, it just kind of went from there, and I finally decided to put it into action.
Jim, we're so
Cool.
glad you did. Awesome name,
Yeah.
awesome channel, and awesome voice.
Well, thank you
Yeah.
very much.
You're welcome.
Much agreed.
Excuse me.
Now, Grim, what is your story?
I would say mine is similar, not similar. It's a mixture of both. Yeah, I have always been told, especially when I use my non-narration voice, I can be a host or like what you call it, a voice actor for animation. And since I started watching these kind of videos, such Mr. Creeps, Mr. Nightmare, I tried to imitate them. And my friends told me, because of my natural voice, because I had tonsillitis at a very young age, and I removed all my tonsils. It scarred my vocal cords a little bit, so I have a very deeper range compared to most guys. And yeah, I said, why not? Especially in the times that I weren't feeling quite well. And when the pandemic happened, I would say I was at my lowest point, so I said why not give this as a last try, and started it as a hobby, and still it is a hobby to me, but unfortunately those reasons that caused the download the health conditions have stopped me to be consistent, but hopefully 2022 would be a better year for consistency. And yeah, if any of you or anyone in the stream wants, whenever our dear hosts feel like it, I can do both my high-pitched voice, natural voice, and also very low, or as some people would say, demon green voice.
Directly calling out Seth.
If you would like, please go ahead.
Okay, give me a 30 second.
Okay. Having tonsillitis and having your tonsils removed, sometimes people do get scarred vocal cords or damaged vocal cords because they intubate you. You know, they put the tube down your throat so they can make sure you're breathing, and they have a machine and everything. I had a surgery several years ago that they paralyzed my vocal cords, so I could hardly speak at all, and it was just a whisper, and it took about 6 months to get my voice back. And not this voice. This voice is like not my normal voice, but yeah, it can be devastating. Now I'm terrified to have any surgery because, oh my God, what if they ruin my voice? It's one thing we've got now.
As a few of you know, this isn't my actual voice, obviously. This is the voice that I use when in the persona that is Ms Creepyth.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, and this is my demon green voice. I would narrate specific stuff in this. And yeah.
Wow.
Sentence anyone wants, easy friendly. I would say it in this voice.
I will say from experience, having him switch from his average normal voice to this in the span of a single second is quite intimidating.
Right.
Especially when it is without warning.
That's really cool, though.
Yeah, this is my normal voice, without narration voice, not demon voice.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
It's very much a stark contrast.
Yeah, I can even go higher if anyone wants. I can go like a high-pitched version. I have been trying to imitate a clown, or how I say it specifically.
Oh. Okay.
So, Dr. Grimm and Ms Creepyth, what would you say is your strongest and weakest aspects when it comes to narrating?
I would say in this high-pitched voice, Ms Creepyth should go first.
Let me think about that. I think one weakness that I can say right now is I still haven't quite gotten the hang of the vocal range aspect. So some of my higher pitched voices, for example, children's voices, or voices that are meant to be higher in pitch, as well as deeper and more raspy voices, they are difficult for me to do at this time. However, my channel is still new, and I am still learning. So I just need to kind of learn to increase my vocal range and take up some vocal exercises before recording, and hopefully that will help a little better. As far as strengths go, one thing I have gotten very good at through many years of reading is there are times where I will not stutter as I'm going through a story. I can go paragraph to paragraph consistently and still maintain a good inflection of my voice.
And that sometimes is really hard to do. It really is.
Indeed.
Yes.
Being a drama kid as well, I was in drama club when I was in high school, so
Oh,
I
that was
suppose
so much fun.
it comes a bit more naturally to me.
I wanted to do drama, but I ended up in dance.
I was
Which was fine, too.
I was in The Crucible and A Midsummer Night's Dream.
Oh, wow.
The Crucible had to have been my favorite role. I played Mary Warren, who was one of the girls who was accusing women of being witches.
Mm.
See.
One of the top dogs.
What? Oh, okay, I'm just reading the
Contain
chat.
yourself. Contain yourself, Grim.
Why?
So, Dr.
Why?
Grimm, what would you say is your strongest and weakest aspect?
I would say that, the weakest, I would say definitely my editing. Compared to, CCG, compared to Raven, compared to all of you guys, I think my editing skill isn't there yet. Trying to improve it, but I've been busy with many situations, as Ms Creepyth would know, and yeah, like I'm obviously, if anyone wants to know, I work and study at the both time, and yeah, I'm dealing with getting my bachelor's degree and all of that. I don't have the time to learn new skills for editing, but obviously I would say my editing is my weakest aspect of my narration. Strongest, I don't know. Most people would say maybe voice because of the range, but to be honest, as the subscriber pointed out, that yeah, if I do the deep voice, the really deep voice that you heard, too long, it can actually cause some issues. And the thing I would say I enjoyed most, and I would consider sometimes the strongest, is how can I manage a situation on live stream, and how to entertain people. I would prefer that to the voice.
The demon voice?
Yeah, the demon voice is nice, but it has its own downsides.
I just read in the chat that you actually were bleeding one time because of doing the deep voice.
Yeah, it was the first time I was on. First or second? No, sorry. It was the second time I was on Midnight Researchers stream for 13 hours. We were doing some a stream for Kayla.
That. Okay.
Yeah,
I remember the
Kayla.
stream.
Yeah,
Yep.
because I used my voice, demon voice, too long on that, and I didn't sleep the entire day after because I had university and work. Both I was drained, and I had a little bit of bleeding in my vocal cords because I went even deeper than this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, goodness. Sorry to hear that.
It was
What's the
worth
longest
it.
you can go? What's the longest you can go being in that deep voice without causing yourself any harm?
I think I have adapted much better now, I would say. Non-stop talking 2 hours. But live stream with like people like more talking normally, I would say maybe 6 or 7 hours.
That's without causing any damage?
Yeah, that's without causing any damage. Usually, I can sometimes go, but it depends on my energy level and what I have done that day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Just,
Be more careful with your throat.
Yes.
You only have one.
that's what she said, but yeah.
Oh, here we go. Louis, we're going to have a talk after the show. Just kidding.
That's how I missed it. What did he say?
Yeah.
Nothing. Anyways, do you have a question for them, sis?
I hear this on a daily basis. I'm used to it at this point.
Okay, let's get into some fun stuff.
Yes.
Do you guys believe in this? Can't talk. Sorry. You got to hear me when I'm recording. That sound is all through my recordings. Do you guys believe in the paranormal?
Yes.
I would say not to the certain extent most people believe here, but a different version of it, yes.
Have you had any experiences?
Yes.
I don't know if I count this as a paranormal experience, but yeah.
So, go ahead, Greg. Sorry.
Yeah, I said if anyone wants, I can tell you. It's a very short story. It's not really a
Yes.
long story.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I think I have told Ms Creepyth before, I think. It goes back to, I would say, 12 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. And 12 years ago, I had a very strange dream about, I would say, wacky and scary at the same time. And at the end of it, my grandmother died in that dream. And lo and behold, 1 year after exactly, on that night, my grandmother had a severe bleeding in her stomach. I don't still know the reason exactly why. And she passed away the morning after. And I was like, what the fuck? How can I have this dream exactly predict the death of one of I would consider the closest person to me. Yeah, I would count that as the paranormal experience, but not to a certain extent that most people expect.
She was letting you know that she's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
That is interesting.
very. I would say it's a curse to know that the person that you love is going to die at what exact moment. So I don't. The only experience I never want to experience that again is knowing. Sometimes it's good to be ignorant.
Sometimes, yes.
Yeah, but not always. I had a kind of similar when my great grandmother died when I was very young. She came to me the night she died and told me she was leaving. And I got up in the morning and told everybody, and they're like, no, Grandma's fine. She's up in Oregon. I'm like, nope. She said goodbye. And a little while, or unless I guess it was when I got home from school. I was like 7. I got home from school that day and they told me Grandma died. Like, duh, what I said at breakfast. No, but I wasn't sad because she had told me she was okay and she was going to a better place and she was not going to be old and sick anymore. So I've never been sad about her passing, which sounds weird.
No,
I've
I
always been
understand.
happy. I've been
You are
happy
assured.
for her. Yeah, exactly. She assured me, so there was never that sadness of unknowing and everything. No.
Mine was completely different. It wasn't assurance. It was just happened.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
saw it. If I was assured, Yeah, I would have dealt with it much better, but no, it was so sudden, and actually it ended up to be a very mild bleeding, but the doctor and nurse ignorance towards taking care of her caused the death because they discharged her too early without checking anything.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah, but nonetheless, we move on. This is a interview to make people happy and scare them a little bit.
Yes, yes.
So
Okay.
what about you, Ms Creepyth? Have
My
you ever experienced anything?
my paranormal experiences go back to when I was shortly after I was born, actually.
Oh, wow.
These stories
Oh.
actually mostly come from my mother, but they were recently proven.
It's okay. We
Shortly
believe you.
after I was born, and when I first had started kind of sleeping by myself, the toys in my bedroom would start to move at night. And it became such a regular thing that my mother took to naming the ghost or entity that was in our home. Her name was Elizabeth.
Okay.
And she was apparently a child because she used to play with my toys.
Aw.
At
That would've
first,
been-
I didn't.
Yeah, that's a good guess.
At first, I didn't believe it. Until I was 15. Oh no, I was younger than that. I believe I was just in my 7th grade year, I believe. So I believe it was 12 or 11. My mother had just taken up hunting at that time. I don't know if she does it anymore, but I remember there was one particular day she was cleaning her rifle out after having sighted it and getting it ready for the season. And we were talking, and I was sitting on the couch and doing something. I don't remember what I was doing. But we were telling jokes to each other, and we found a particular comment funny. And once we had stopped laughing, we heard something from behind one of the tables. It sounded like another person laughing. So we looked behind it to see if something had kind of fallen or if it was just the television set that was close by making noise. There was nothing there. We checked outside to see if it was the neighbors. They were on vacation.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
Oh.
And the noise had carried on for 10 whole minutes. And it simultaneously intrigued and scared us. And we chalked it up to Elizabeth having followed us, because at that time we had moved out of the house that we were in into a smaller duplex apartment due to issues with the landlord. But another instance of paranormal activity that I had experienced was when I was a senior. My senior year in high school was by far the hardest one that I've ever had to endure. I had already been trying to make plans to move out, as my home situation had declined. There were plans to move out. I was highly stressed because of graduation requirements. I at the time had a job that was taking the rest of my free time, and it was just not fun. And there were several points in that particular part of my life where I felt alone. And one day I noticed that there were nights where I slept a lot easier. And I kind of paid a little bit more attention to that, and I found that particular nights where I would be feeling especially down, I would feel this presence, this warmth behind me while I'm lying in bed. I came to realize that there was something or someone behind me, essentially giving me the comfort of another being. I had a friend.
Yeah, you had someone that cared for you.
I had a friend, and I named them AJ.
That's a comforting feeling, isn't it? When you know that you're actually not alone.
It is. It is a very comforting feeling.
Yeah. Wow.
That
Wow.
is quite the experience. I would say that would make a better movie than the recent Halloween movies.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
here to tell all of you that not all the ghosts that you see in horror movies are particularly dangerous. Perhaps they just want someone to be there for them.
Exactly. They just
Focus.
want someone to listen. Okay. Dr. Grimm,
Yeah?
what is your favorite movie snack?
Oh.
I'm going to be bland as hell, I would say. The first one, obviously, buttered up and salted popcorn.
Okay.
No, scrap that. I would say coffee flavored ice cream mixed with vanilla. And maybe popcorn would be the third. The second one, I don't know if you have. I think you have something in your country like this. It's corn and cheese based snack that it has food coloring on it. It's orange.
Cheetos. Cheetos.
It's like Cheetos, but the taste and texture is quite different.
You'll have to show me what these look like. I may be able to figure something out about it.
Yeah, it looks like Cheetos, but it's quite the taste and the texture is quite different.
I see.
So it's not like a crunchy thing. It's
crunchy, but not to that certain extent. It's
Mm.
I would say it suits all kind of teeth. Like even people that have a little bit of problem with teeth and old age could easily eat them without any concern or any
They sound
uncomfortable
delightful.
situation. Yeah. Yeah.
Cheese puffs.
Raven is right. Yeah.
yeah.
It's more like that
Oh.
rather than Cheetos. Puffs, not puffs. Yeah.
Cheese pugs.
They sound amazing. I want some. Real quick, let's say hi to Bruno in the chat.
Hello,
Hello and
Bruno.
welcome to Grave
Hello.
Matters. Thank you for joining us. Go ahead, Dr. Grimm, and then Ms Creepyth.
Yeah, I said mine.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the question that someone asked. Ms Creepyth, it's your turn.
Are we talking like at home movies, or do you mean like movie theaters?
Either. Or both.
Whatever.
My go-to snack for movie theaters has always been Sour Patch.
Okay.
Nice.
But if it's an at-home movie thing or hanging out with a friend watching a movie, I have always been a sucker for Cool Ranch Doritos and root beer floats.
I love root beer
okay.
floats. Yeah.
Unless
That's
it's
fine.
me and my best friend, the one that I talked about earlier. She and I would always eat Hershey's dark chocolate and Oreos
Oh,
when watching.
God,
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
It became a tradition after the first couple of sleepovers we had.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, I would have just dipped the Oreos in the chocolate. Oh, wait, I don't like Oreos.
You
Did I
know,
say that?
I like food. I don't care. Whatever snack item I have, you know.
Right.
Although one of my
Yeah.
absolute favorites, and I don't get it very often because I will eat the entire fucking package.
Mhm.
They have these puffed corn things. They're a little bit like Cheetos, not the crunchy ones, the puffed ones. But instead of cheese, it's caramel. So they're like little puffed caramel corns.
So what it
Sounds
is, it's
delightful.
basically popcorn without the holes. Is what it is.
Pretty much. Well, it's a corn-based thing.
Right,
kind
but
of-
it's popcorn
puffed-
without the holes.
Yeah, yeah, okay, yeah.
I
That's what
kind
you
of got
said.
sick of popcorn after a while.
Yeah.
Oh, these you wouldn't get sick of. I currently have popcorn that is pancake flavored.
Pancake?
Yes.
That sounds wonderful. Unfortunately, I have a weakness for dark chocolate sea salt.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
I don't like dark chocolate, but I do like the sea salt.
I have a
I
weakness
Same here.
for
love
it.
dark
Combination.
chocolate.
I don't really like dark chocolate, but that one, yep. I tasted it once. And,
yeah.
Yes, dark chocolate and sea salt. Specifically, I believe it's the Ghirardelli kind.
Oh,
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
Girl after my own heart.
The sea salt and almond. I believe it's called sea salt soiree.
Oh, God,
The
yes.
first time I tried it, my roommate bought it for me, and I've been in love with it ever since. It is absolutely 10,000% a weakness.
So since we're on the topic of food, Dr. Grimm and Ms Creepyth, you both have been very bad people. And you both are now on death row.
Shame,
What
shame,
would
shame.
your Huh?
I said shame, shame, shame.
Right. So what would your methods of execution be? Why? And what would your last meals be? Last meal for each of you be? So, who wants to go first?
That's a very good question.
Yeah, I think mine either go out with a bang or go out slowly. So either injection or execution by electrical chair.
Oh, okay.
No hanging,
Oh.
no hanging, because hanging you can break your neck and still not die.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Right.
Yeah,
not,
so
not that one.
you'd basically strangle.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not
no.
that one. That's the horrible aspect. Because I have seen someone do it, and I know for a fact they will still do it if you are not being too ridiculous. So, I would say at least one big, I would say, ice cream, coffee flavored. Obviously, one the giant steak well done. I know most people from this stream will hate me for saying well done, but hey ho.
I like my steak well done too, buddy, so don't feel bad.
Yeah, well done. And for treats beside it, I would go, I know it's odd, but I love oranges. So oranges, watermelon, and an orange juice, but natural one, not the flavored ones. And I love chocolate, so I would say, especially milk chocolate and white chocolate
Yes.
from the Milka brand, German Swiss brand, I think, the purple one with a cow on it. And second one would be the Kinder brand, the German chocolate brand.
Oh, yeah.
They're
yeah.
Well, it's illegal in the U.S.
yeah, I know.
I see them all the
Kinder
time.
Egg.
I
No,
don't know
the
what you
Kinder
guys are
Egg.
talking about. I see those all the time.
Yeah, the Kinder Egg is banned, not the Kinder chocolates and the hippos. Those are better. And yeah, I think that would be all, and finish it all up, Sprite. Because I'm, as one would say, I'm a straight edge, so I don't smoke, I don't drink alcohol, so I would finish it up with a Sprite.
Yes,
And
Raven, the
sorry.
ones in the U.S. are different.
Oh, okay. So what is it that you think you would actually have been sentenced to death for? Okay, I want to preface this for you because you are in a different country, and your reasons in your country for being sentenced to death are a lot different than ours.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay.
I don't quite. Maybe you shouldn't answer that.
No,
Actually,
I would say heresy.
Okay, and now heresy is like talking against the religion or against
Widely
God.
accepted religion.
It's everywhere. It's not something that isn't normal. It depends how much you have done damage. But if you are, say, neutral, maybe hacking to the government for like a hacking to
jeez.
the FBI or something
Right,
like
moving on.
Yep.
Hi, DLV.
Okay.
Dark little voices. Ms Creepyth, how would you be executed and what would your last meal be?
For the sake of sounding dramatic and in character, should my reign of removing the souls of those who refuse to entertain me come to an end, my death would be performed either by firing squad or exorcism.
Ooh, exorcism. There we go.
Ooh, new one.
We've never had that before.
No.
Never had that before. That's
purely for the
could
sake
be
of
a
sounding
nasty way to
dramatic and in
die.
character.
Right. That could be a very nasty way to die.
Exorcisms
I
are
like
quite
it.
messy. I've witnessed a
I
few in my
mean,
time.
look at what happened to poor Emily Rose.
Indeed.
Yep.
For those of you that have seen that movie.
Yeah, obviously.
My last meal, that's a tough one. Considering I too enjoy the delicacies of life. Oh boy. But if I had to pick one.
Sushi. Just kidding.
No.
Liver and fava beans.
If I had to pick just one, it would probably be there is a restaurant that I used to go to. Unfortunately, it's closed down. But it would be the Italian Alfredo pasta.
Oh,
With-
God, yes.
With
Yep.
cooked shrimp and
Oh.
garlic bread.
Oh, girl,
Yeah.
after
Okay,
my own
I'll
heart.
join you for dinner. I'll come and sit with you.
Right?
While you're eating for your last meal, dear.
As,
I will be your
uh,
dinner companion.
As for a drink, I'm probably gonna go with a good ginger ale
Oh, yes.
to go with the actual meal itself. And but if as Grim said, if dessert was an option, I would probably have to go with a dark chocolate cake with buttercream frosting. It has to be buttercream, otherwise take that away.
Homemade buttercream frosting.
Yes.
Nope.
And
Mine would have to be
With a
whipped.
dark chocolate cake. That is.
with that, a glass of Bailey's strawberry and cream.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
Okay.
Yummy.
yes.
Okay, now, why do you think you've been sentenced to death?
Isn't that obvious?
Well, I mean, it could have been something different. You know, not
Well, for
just because
starters,
you take
if we're
everybody's soul.
going by technical terms, and again, forgive me for sounding dramatic and in character here, but breaking and entering for starters, as I managed to slip into these people's homes, absolute desecration of bodies.
No.
Okay,
love
well
this
that
woman.
is wrong. You leave the bodies
Indeed it
alone.
is.
I mean, you can take the souls, you can kill them, but don't desecrate the bodies. I mean,
Right?
come on.
Hey, come on.
The families need to have something to bury.
Oh, they do. Normally, it's just their heart.
Now, see, take the heart, leave the body. You're doing it opposite. You're doing it backwards, honey.
I'm
Take
meant
the
to be
heart, please.
unconventional, my dear.
Obviously.
I would.
Obviously.
One that I
Hello,
would say.
PA Nightmares.
Hello, PA.
Yeah,
Sentenced
hello,
to death
PA.
for witchcraft. That sounds
Yes.
about right, my friend.
Yeah, I think the other one would be starting a cult for Azzy.
No, we don't sentence people to death for starting cults. That's
no, I
one
mean
thing in
cult.
America.
No, I mean
You
cult like Charles Manson, not a normal
No,
cult.
Let the girl commit her
Yeah,
crimes.
that's what I'm
Yes,
saying.
Filia, please
That's
and
what I'm
thank
saying.
you.
That's what I'm saying. In America, you can start a cult. Like Charles
God I'm
Manson.
not
You
there.
I mean,
can. If you
David
get enough
Koresh.
followers, I believe the technical term is if you get at least, what is it, 5 people, you
Yeah.
technically have a religion.
Yes. 5 people that believe wholeheartedly in your system, religious system, it is considered a religion, and therefore a church, and it's not illegal to start a different church.
Patience brings up a good point. Where else is she going to get a sweet skin suit?
Okay, well, there's that. There's that.
Patience,
and you do have to go through.
Don't encourage her.
To get college math. No, I'm with her. I understand. It's hard to get identical skin tones. If you want it to look right, you have to go through a lot of skin to get matching skin tone. Because you got to think about tan lines and shit like that too.
That's why I just keep. I'm in an episode of Hellraised.
I keep the whole body.
Right.
I keep the whole body until it's no longer usable, and they're looking for said body.
Okay, well, there we go. All right, maybe you don't have Dr.
Death. So mine would be controversial, and she will be in character.
Right. Either way, it's good.
Ms. Creepyth's cult would be named the Witch's Brew.
The Witch's Brew.
I thought that would be Filia's.
No,
true.
No.
I thought Filia would have been the Witch's Brew, and CCG's is just the carnival.
Oh, there we go.
Oh yeah. I mean, do you trust when you come to visit me and I give you something to drink?
Fair point.
Sis, I have come and visited you.
This is true, and I've come to visit you. But you and I are on good standing, and we're sisters. Of course, sisters don't always get along either.
Sensing a relationship similar to that which evil. I've seen. There was a show that I watched a while ago. I believe it was based off of the original Sabrina and the Teenage Witch. One of the sisters, one of the aunts, would constantly kill the other, and yet she never died. She would come back and she would kill the other out of a sisterly spat. Knowing that she would come back.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I get that. Absolutely, I get that. If I know you're going to come back, PA Nightmare says he no longer trusts me. I can't believe you trusted me in the first place.
Live and learn, PA. Don't trust anyone.
Live and learn, PA.
First off, I'm a woman. What were you thinking?
Oh, dear.
Don't trust a woman.
What the?
I don't even remember where we were. Okay.
Bruno said, what the? Bruno said, embrace the Queen of Darkness and Dr. Death. What the?
Queen of Darkness. Wait a minute. Has anybody noticed? Queen of Darkness, that's me. Hello, people. Filia Noctis. Hello.
When did I become Dr. Death, a knockoff version of Dr. Doom?
Right.
I'm pretty sure Dr. Death is a real character somewhere, if I remember right.
I know.
Oh, yeah. So as long as it's daylight, y'all are safe. I'm kind of like a vampire in that way.
Well, real quick before we continue with the next question, for those of Hair-Raising Narratives and I's collab, which is a channel-to-channel 2-part 3-minute any-theme horror story collab. Again, a reminder, the deadline for your edited audio in MP3 format, your either YouTube or Twitter link and your profile pic must be turned in by January 31st. Also, we need to know by January 24th if you are still going to be a part of the collab so that we can have a final count. Thank you.
That's 4 days, people. You only have 4 days,
4 days
to decide if you're going to do this.
So please get in touch either with myself or Hair-Raising Narratives. And thank you to the 19 people that have already sent in your audio.
Oh,
Much
wow, that's
appreciated.
awesome. That's a nice, that is a good, what am I trying to say? It's a good turnout.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
We have a total of 39, and I'll be recording mine. And the Dark Side said he will be turning his in soon. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yes,
Very
Sleeping
nice.
Wendigo. It is the 20th for us. It's the 21st for Dr. Grimm.
Yeah. Hello from the future.
Right? I was just thinking that. Get the hell out of my head. I was just thinking that. Damn it. I
This
don't
is
like
why
it when
the-
people poke around in there. I didn't give you permission.
right?
Shoo,
no
you.
comments.
Shoo, shoo, shoo. I'm gonna get out the
Because
bug
of
spray.
because of my lawyer saying no comment.
Oh,
Not
if
many
you're not
people get
paying
that
rent,
close,
please.
right? If you're not paying rent, get the hell out. Okay,
Right.
so what else do we have? Okay, I got one. This one is I ask this periodically.
Okay.
And it could be, this could either be for like literature and writing or just in general. But
Okay.
what is your favorite word? And I don't mean like the word fuck or shit or something, but just like, what is your favorite word?
Another tough question.
Mine is obvious. Mine would be the iconic British slang, gremlin.
Wait,
Oh,
I
what?
didn't understand.
Wait.
What did you say? Brilliant? Oh,
No, gremlin.
Gremlin.
Yep.
Like the little
Yep.
gremlin.
Yep.
Okay. Gremlin works. Okay. Next.
Oh, goodness. I have a few, but
Okay.
the ones that I like to use the most, and I don't get too many opportunities to use them, but when I do, they fit so well. The first word being tantalize.
Very nice.
That's nice.
It's very descriptive and it rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, very well.
Yes, it does.
Another word that I like to use that again I don't get to use very often is, and actually I use it a little bit more often, but it's because of the formal connotation behind the word, inquire.
Ooh.
Ooh.
It carries a little bit more of a formal tone than, say, the word request or question.
Yeah.
It does. It really does. actually.
It's more knowledgeable to me.
Yes.
Awesome,
Interesting.
awesome
I like that.
words. I do too.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing words.
See, that's not- you're right. That's not a question that a lot of people would ask, but I think it gives our listeners interesting insight into you guys.
Into your personalities.
Yes.
So I'm going to lose subs by that count.
It depends. Are you Gizmo or the don't with me after midnight gremlin? So
Are you kidding? Don't feed him after midnight, and for God's sakes, don't get him wet.
right.
No telling what those things would end up like.
Okay.
So for this show, I'm going to actually introduce. So to Dr. Grimm and Ms Creepyth, if you could go back to the past and tell your younger self one thing, what would it be?
It's so cliche to answer this. I mean, not the question, the answers people would give.
Yes. Yes.
Everyone would going to say, buy NFTs, buy Bitcoin.
Oh goodness.
Right. Right.
Um,
Didn't think outside the box.
Yeah, mine definitely not that, man.
So what would you tell your former or your younger self?
The first, I think, would be to start YouTube earlier. Maybe I could catch some collaborations with those who I like and are really famous. Maybe in that time they are less busy. I could collaborate with them easier. And do I don't really per se regret anything, so going back and changing it, I think not that I have done everything right in my life, but I would say I prefer it is, and only tell myself to start YouTube earlier and try maybe to make less dark humor jokes if you want more friends.
Great advice, Ms.
my God.
Creepyth.
Wait, I want to say something here. The dark little voices said Sisters of the Traveling Human Skin Pants.
Oh my
What
God.
the
Oh, we have got to get a thumbnail made for us, ladies. We really do. Any takers in the chat want to do a thumbnail for us, ladies?
Thank God I'm not a part of that.
Wow, that is
New hashtag.
okay.
Skin pants.
Sisters of the Traveling Human Skin Pants. Wow.
Quick, somebody
New-
screenshot that comment.
Yeah, I'm going to screenshot it.
And we're never gonna let someone forget that.
No.
Yeah, new product from.
I would like that on a sweatshirt, please.
Nothing comes
Yes.
between me and my human skin pants. That's a throwback. Most of you probably are not going to know what that means. Brooke Shields, a famous model from the 80s, wore Calvin Klein, was a spokesmodel for Calvin Klein, and she used to say, "Nothing comes between me and my Calvins," trying to be risque, saying like, "I don't wear underwear or whatever." So nothing comes between me and my human skin pants.
So what about you, Miss Creepyth?
Okay, go on.
And this is going to sound simultaneously cliche and slightly depressing. He broke his promise. Don't give him a second chance.
Oh. Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but it happened, and honestly, I don't even know if I would be where I am today if I changed anything.
It's a concept. You don't know what you get when you change the past.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a
I tell
concept.
myself the college debt wasn't worth the 6 years. Oh dear, Raven.
Oh,
What?
Raven
that's a
says,
shout.
I tell myself that the college debt wasn't worth the 6 years.
I think I would tell myself, and this actually goes out to everybody, especially younger people.
Filia?
You cut off.
Here.
Filia?
People get that confused. I know I did.
Don't leave us in suspense. What was it?
What was it you
Sex.
said, Filia?
Did I go away?
Yeah,
Hello?
you
Yes.
went away.
Okay. Sex is not love.
Oh, okay. Very
That's a
good
good phrase.
advice.
That's a good phrase to keep.
Exactly.
Yes. Because I didn't know that when I was younger, and had I known, it would have saved me a lot of heartache. However, had I known, I probably would not be in the space that I'm in, and I wouldn't be here, and I wouldn't be Filia Noctis. So,
True.
take that as you will.
Right.
You go back in the past, you change something, you won't be where you are now.
Butterfly effect.
Yes.
Right. Exactly.
But it is a good
advice. Yeah.
It is a good piece of advice. Sex is not love.
Yeah. If people would only listen.
Yeah, they won't, but it's okay. Maybe at some point, some girl or some boy is going to be sitting there in a horrible relationship built on sex, going, "Why am I here?" Because, get out. Sex is run. Okay. How much? Oh, we're really close on time.
We already are, so
Yeah.
we'll
So
go ahead and we're gonna let Dr. Grimm and Ms Creepyth say something, and then and then you, and then this week
you'll close. Okay. So give us your last piece of advice or something you want people to know about you or your channel. Final statements.
Okay. If it's okay, first of all, I want to thank everyone here, Raven, CCG, Filia, Ms Creepyth, and everyone that has tuned in. And second, I'll try to take care of yourself. You don't know how much time you have left. You could be very well, very healthy, but seconds after, you cannot. You can be lying dead in a ditch. And final thing, it's a personal thing I want to say, but nonetheless, it's a shout out to a person who has been here for me more than 2 years and has tolerated me and made me a better person. That is no one other than my own GF. That her name is Mikey and from Philippines. She's probably now at work. So I'm going to give her a hi and wish her a very great day at work.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Ms Creepyth.
All I wish to say is thank you again for CreepyClownGirl, Filia Noctis, and As the Raven Dreams for hosting this wonderful podcast. And thank you, Dr. Grimm, for inviting me along.
No problem. It was my pleasure and honor.
As far as last minute advice, don't be afraid to be spontaneous every once in a while. Just don't go overboard with it.
Great advice.
Very good advice. Spontaneity is good, but don't base your whole thing on that. And, I like that.
One last quick thing in regards to my channel as it's growing. If you do have any suggestions for any narrations that you would like to see, please do find me on my Discord server if you're not already in. I will. My Twitter link should be down there, and I believe the Discord link is on my Twitter. If it's not, I will be putting it there as a pinned tweet, as well as the other links down there as well. I will be trying to post more. After Christmas, my channel sort of died.
That happens a lot. That's actually a common thing.
After the holidays, it just kind of dropped off a little bit.
That happens to everybody. It's okay. Bear with it. You're still a young channel. I know it's scary, but you will survive it. You will come out on the other end. I promise. Just stick with it. Throw out a couple videos. Get a little consistency going. You'll come back. It'll happen. I promise. You have my word.
And I will be taking the advice of anybody around me.
Okay. So if you guys have any advice for her, DM her. It's important.
Please.
Anything.
Whether it be constructive criticism, story suggestions, I am always open to try new things.
Oh, be careful on that one.
Grim, be silent.
You may want to be. I'm always open to try new things, honey.
That's why I told Grim to be quiet.
It's not just Raven, it's Wendigo. Look, he's already laughing at you. Okay. Okay.
I am not a stranger to that feeling.
I would love to thank our guests Dr. Grimm and Ms Creepyth for being here with us today. It was much fun, and I very much enjoyed having you guys here. As always, as the Raven dreams, the man behind the yellow stripe and his lovely wife, Patience, for letting us have him this late at night for them. And our listeners, thank you very much for being here. My sister from another Mr. CCG, again, love being on show on. Can't talk. Love being on the show with you, and thank you for continuing to be on the show with me.
You're welcome.
That's what I have to say.
So, real quick, everyone join us next Thursday, 6 PST, as we welcome to Grave Matters for the first time, Dr. Dark. Sis, thank you again for being with me on Grave Matters. Always enjoy having you here. Thank you to everyone in the chat for being here with us. Thank you to Raven and Patience. You guys are awesome. Dr. Grimm is awesome in show today. Really enjoyed having both of you on. So until next week, stay frightened, and remember, if you listen, the graves do whisper, and once you join the collective, you can leave nevermore. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody. Mwah.
Farewell.
If you two would
Night.
stay with us in the green room for just a few
Yeah.
minutes.
No
Please don't
problem.
hang up.